Hey guys, welcome back to the video. Today will be my Suicide Squad review. This video will contain both a non-spoiler review and a spoiler review, and I'll let you know when the spoiler review comes in. So if you don't want to be spoiled, watch until I say to turn it off. So to start this review, I enjoyed the movie a lot. Like it was exactly what I was expecting when we saw the trailers and posters. It's exactly what I thought it was. I enjoyed it. I think it was amazing. There are some things that I didn't like, but a lot of that thing is personal issues or just things of my own. I thought all the funny moments hit at the right point. All the serious moments lasted long enough to be serious. It's a good mix of humor and seriousness that I liked. And it is called the Suicide Squad, so you will expect some death. Some deaths really shocked the hell out of me. Like, I was almost every death in this movie, I was really sad for. And I'll get to more on that during the spoiler bit of the review. Yeah, all of this for me was sad. Even like the minor characters who were killed off like yeah. There was, in my opinion, there was one plot point of the movie that I thought was so forgettable. It's like they talk about it, then like they leave it alone for a little bit. I'm like, but then when they've come back to that plot point, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a thing in this movie. And once again, I'll explain that in the spoiler review. Like I'm, yes, I know there's stuff in here I can talk about in the movie. And not spoil it. It's just I don't want to, just in case it could be cut, because it is a major plot point, but it's not. You can People can tell you about it, and you can not be spoiled by it. So yeah. So character wise, for the kids, Harley Quinn stole every scene she's in. She was actually one of the two people I was looking forward to the most in this movie. And the second person was King Shark. I love King Shark. I loved him in the Flash TV show. I love him in the Harley Quinn TV show. I love when they take him because he can, like in the Flash show, he can be a serious character. But if you take him in the opposite direction, as in this, like when he was in the Suicide Squad and when he was in the Harley Quinn show, he could be the best character in that whole project. It doesn't matter if he's the main focus or not. He's amazing when he's hilarious. Like when they make him funny, he is the best thing ever. Peacemaker. Okay, so he's okay. How to explain this? He was funny in the moments when he was supposed to be funny. And for those of you who know he would do anything for peace. If he had to kill a kid for peace, he would do it. If he had to, as quoted in the film, eat a whole bunch of dicks, he would. Which that leads into the parts I hate. I hate him for, like, he does stuff in this movie for peace quotation marks that I'm like, no. And I'll get more into that in the spoiler a bit. Red flag. Okay, so the one thing I do like about this movie is like you do see Harley Quinn's, Rick Flags, and like, Captain Boomerang, or Boomer, how am I call him? You could tell that in the past movie, and like a little bit in between, these characters have grown to be more, a little bit more like friends. Not a family per se, but friends. Once Rick finds out, oh, she's alive, like he finds out the government people on the island kidnapped her. Like I'm just saying spoiler because you see in a trailer him trying to rescue her. It's like, no, we're gonna go rescue her now. We don't leave anyone behind. Which I feel like that's a character growth from the last movie. Because I feel like in the first Suicide Squad movie, he's like, I really don't give a shit about you. You're a villain. Why the hell should I care about you? You can die on it. To, no, we can't leave Harley Quinn. She is one of us. And you can tell the same between Boomer's and Harley Quinn's banter back and forth in the opening. These three people have grown close together, and you can tell like, because Boomer makes fun of the newbies in the opening scene. Yeah, so you can tell they have a bond. Ratcatcher, she was actually a highlight of the film. So coming from the trailer, we see Ratcatcher and Bloodsport have this conversation. Like he's like, "I'm gonna make sure you come out alive," and she's like, "I'm gonna make sure you come out alive." And I was thinking, oh, they're gonna make, well, they're going to fall in love during the mission, but we come to find out it's a different type of bond that they have. The reason why they want to save each other, and I'll get more into that in the spoiler review. And Polka Dot Man, going into the film, I knew he was gonna have some moments that made me laugh because in the trailer he's like, Bloodsport's like, we're gonna die, and he's like, I hope so. Like Like I knew he was gonna be a character that people love, like not love, but like laughed at for. But he actually had one of the greatest arcs, and like I want to say story arcs, but like greatest overall story in the movie because he's more one of the mentally stable people, but not mentally stable, like compassionate people in this movie. So yeah, and the final character I want to talk about before I get for this team is Bloodsport. He is basically his whole point of this movie was he replaced a Deadshot. 100%, like even like he's a marksmith who's very good at his aim, played by a black actor, Idris Elba. And then we have Deadshot in the first movie, who's a marksmith with a good aim, played by a black actor. So I'm not saying his role was not important to the movie. I'm saying is basically he's there as a replacement for Deadshot. 100%. Sorry for the mic growling in that last part. I still haven't learned how to not move my hands without hitting my mic. So the final character I want to talk about is Amanda Waller. I feel like in this movie she was more intense than in the last movie because those moments like where she's like, "Oh shit, what the hell is she about to do?" I it was more unhinged, more angry, like more scary in this movie compared to the last movie. Because yeah, so I think she was better in this movie. And before I get into the whole spoiler part of this review, I want to say a couple of things. James Gunn did an amazing job with this movie. Is it a masterpiece? That's up to like. I want to say yes, that's a masterpiece. It's just that there's some things in this movie that I do not like or I find forgettable to the point where like it's so close to being a masterpiece. Like I wish it was a masterpiece, but it's like so close. And so my overall rating for this movie is like, in my opinion, this is the best out of the DCEU. Like I find it better than the Snyder Cut, even though I love the Justice League. It's just my favorite film out of the whole DCEU. So I think give it a 9 out of 10. Like it would be a 10 out of 10 if it wasn't for these things that I'll get into the spoiler review for. I could end this video here and make these two different videos, but that's even though that's even though that's technically more work to do, and I could get more videos out. I'm just going to do this like in one whole video, just so I can have it out at once. So this is your warning. Everything I want to say from here to the end of the video is gonna be a spoiler. If you do not want to be spoiled for this movie, if don't what's like the rest of this, and I would say watch this movie. If you can watch it in theaters, do it, but watch this movie at all points. Okay, so starting off the spoiler part of the review. Oh my god, the deaths! Legit, only 2 deaths in this movie. I'm like, that's justified. Like, yes, and those 2 deaths are Blackguard, Pete Davidson's character, and the supposed death of Peacemaker. First of all, Blackguard alerted the enemies that they were coming. Blackguard is 100% responsible for the deaths of Team A of the Suicide Squad. I'll get to more into the deaths. And then we have Peacemaker. I'm like, his death was like, but then we find out like his death was 100% justified. But then we find out, oh, he is alive somehow. Like somehow, he's alive. Like he's alive, and he lasted that long after being shot in the throat. But I'll get to that point. So, continuing on the deaths, the first person to kick the bucket is Weasel, and legit, Weasel is one of the characters that, like, we all know he's not gonna be a fan favorite, but yet it was kind of sad that they killed him off. So like, he legit, my reaction is like, oh damn, really? Like they really killed him off that way. I was looking forward to see a little bit more of him. So the next person to die is Mongal. So basically, she dies by helicopter explosion because I want to say she's cocky, but it's like she jumped, grabbed the helicopter, she got some good kills in, but unfortunately, because of her weight and all stuff, she died in a flaming death. Like she was burned alive. Like her scream, like hearing her scream, like even though we barely see much of her, like it was kind of sad. I don't know if it's the music or what. Like hearing her scream kind of like broke me a little bit. Yeah, but this is the one thing that pisses me off about her character is the neck does. So in the scene, like they're doing the helicopters hitting these trees and all this, and we cut to a shot of Captain Boomerang, and he looks like we pan out, and then oh, he's stabbed a bunch of times with wood, like big splinters, like horrible splinters. I'm like, okay, no, okay, yeah, no, he can live, like he can still live. You just have to take him to the hospital, or he, yeah. Oh, then oh my god, the helicopter explodes, and then the explosion propels the helicopter towards Captain Boomerang, and Captain Boomerang dies. Legit, I kind of could predict who's going to die and who's going to live in this movie based off trailers, posters, and all that. And I knew they wouldn't give off the whole hand immediately. Like I knew there would be some surprising deaths. But Captain Boomerang, like he's not the most popular supervillain, but he's a pretty well-known supervillain. And I was actually looking forward to seeing him like in a Flash movie as Rogue. Like even if it's a Flashpoint style team up where it's just the Rogues working in the museum or something. I'm like, and then he smiles right before the plane, a helicopter hits him, and like, oh my god, like you can hear her even scream, "Boomer!" And it's like, oh my god, that does. Oh. And the next person, like, okay, so this next guy, like, he's obviously going to die. Like, I don't know what you expected, and that's DTK or the detachable kid. So basically, to be honest, I don't think we actually see him die on like actually die. But basically, what it is, his arms came off, and like, oh my god, this is one of the funniest scenes in the movie. So basically, what we see is we see him take his arms off. They float over to the bad guys. I thought there'd be something cool, like bullets coming out of them, like something amazing. Then he just starts punching them and slapping them with the detachable arms. And Harley Quinn's reaction is, "What the fuck?" And Rick's like, "I don't know, I won't pick them." Like, it's actually one of the funniest scenes in the whole movie that I really enjoyed. And this next time, like, yes, he was like, so among Gals, Pete Davidson's character, like Black Knight, DTK, and Michael Rooker's character Savant, and Weasel, like they're obviously like they aren't major enough characters in the comics, so that we knew they were going to die. And oh, I missed one. Was Javelin. Okay, it's Fluorborg. Like same way Pete Davidson, you don't cast these actors to play serious supervillains in a serious action movie and not expect them to die. So actually, I thought I thought Javelin was gonna be the stupidest character, and he actually wasn't. Like he was actually one of the cool characters. I think out of the team A, he had like a couple lines with Harley Quinn, and I kind of feel like they were setting up a romance with them, and that comes into play like basically he dies like I think the lamest out of the whole thing. Oh wait, before I continue on this, DT the top kid. So basically, what happens is he gets shot in the arms, and you just see him on the flailing. But we don't really see him die. Like we see him bleeding from the mouth, like blood coming out of the mouth, but in lying on the ground. So technically, he could live. Theoretically, because we don't see him actually die. It's just implied that he died. So back to Javelin. Yes, he's shot like in one like the lamest ways in the movie. And well, it was kind of obvious he's going to die because in trailers you see Harley Quinn with his javelin, and so we see him give this javelin to her. And the scene I thought they were going to go, like I thought her was going to come in and kiss him like as he died, but no, she legit comes in. It's like he's like, only you can carry my javelin. Only you are worthy enough to carry my javelin for. And as he dies, Harley Quinn just fucking slaps him in the head for who? And it's like I don't know, like yes, the scene was funny, but I don't know if it broke a serious moment or not. But who knows? Okay, so back to Michael Rooker and Savant. So his death. So Savant, to compare him to some of the characters from the original Suicide Squad movie, he was more like the Slipknot character. He was supposed to be the character that in the movie, like they the the turn. They basically try to go free. They try to leave, and then they had to get blown up. But he's not leaving just to leave, like just because I want to be free. He's leaving because he's seeing all these deaths happening on the battlefield, and he's like, "Oh hell no, I'm getting out of here." So like, he's running in the water, screaming, and I was like, "Hey, turn back now! Like I'm warning you, turn back now!" And the base of his head gets splattered. So back to the. So technically, this next part is the very first death of the movie, but not. So we see Weasel in another funny moment. They're jumping out of the plane. He lands like on his belly, but then it was like he's like drowning, struggling to swim, and he's like, "Did who forgot to check if the Weasel can swim?" So yeah, so he's so called was told like we were told that he died, but in the last credit before the last scene before the credits, we see that he actually lived. Yeah, because he awakens and coughs off all the water that night. That scene takes place. So that's because like all the characters who died for the like in Team A. So moving on to Team B and characters. The Thinker. The Thinker dies by the hands of Star or the points of Star. He gets his arms and legs ripped off and splattered on his against the window. I wouldn't say his death was unexpected, but at the same time, it's like he's the bad. Like, basically, he was the bad guy of this movie, so it's kind of like makes sense that he would die. Yeah. Oh my god, this next death was literally the most shocking death of all of them, and it ties in with Pizza Maker. And so basically, Rick he finds out that the U.S. government was involved with the whole Project Starfish stuff, and then he and Peacemaker get in a fight. Rick Flag is like, "No, we need to show this to the government. I'm tired of them having us cover up their mistakes." But the Peacemaker is like, "No, I'm sorry. If this gets out, there will be no peace and all that." And Mel assign me to do whatever it takes to get this out. So they're fighting. We get this cool shot in the Peacemaker's helmet, and then so basically Rick has Peacemaker pinned down. I'm like, is he going to kill Peacemaker? Which I'm like, it doesn't make sense that he's going to die because he has a shield. I'm like, but it could be a prequel. And then Peacemaker takes his tile, stabs Rick in the chest, and once again, just like I'm like, okay, no, he can survive this. He could just be hospitalized and all this. But then this is where Peacemaker jams it in fact farther, and then we get this cool graphic of it punching his heart. And I'm like, oh, they just killed off Rick. They killed off 2 of the 3 original team members. I'm like, oh, like damn. So out of the whole movie, the 2 deaths that surprised me the most was not Peacemaker, Captain Boomerang and Rick Flag, just because they was like such good characters and the actors was like very good. And finally, the final death besides Starro in this movie. Okay, so this death, this death was the stupidest death in the whole entire movie. Yes, like a lot of the characters in the first act, their deaths were there to add deaths to the movie because it is a Suicide Squad. You can't have a Suicide Squad without killing off some members. But this death is literally only here for comedic comedy issues, and then it's like it was also there just to pad the kill count. Polka Dot Man, he has his hero moment. He's visualizing Starfish as his mom, and he's helped taking it down. He's like, "I'm a hero, I'm a hero." Then, bam! A Starfish tentacle lands on him. This death was like literally the stupidest death in the whole entire movie. It should not have happened. They only did it to pad this in count. It was stupid. He just. I'm not saying this as he deserves better. It's just stupidest death of the whole movie. I'm like, oh my god, like I hate it so much. Sorry about the in that last part. So moving on. So we get this cool character moment with Harley Quinn The president of this island is like, "Hey, I want to marry you. The people won't take me serious unless I marry you." And then she's like, "Yeah, why not? You're cute and all that." Like, she kind of likes him. And then people find out that now that he's president, if anyone talks trash about him, he's going to send them to get killed. Men, women, children, he doesn't care. And that's when Harley Quinn shoots him as he turns around. And she's like, "You know what? I learned from my last boyfriend. If I see any red flags, I'm killing this. I'm killing him. Like any red flags. Even though it was only killing children that was the issue and nothing else. She has standards for herself. She learned from the Joker. Nope, like I'm not taking another abusive boyfriend who's going to make me do whatever he wants." I like that. Let's move on to the most forgettable part about this movie, in my opinion. Like I haven't forgot about it. It's just like I can remember it now. It's just okay. So they're talking to the film fighters, and it's like, "Hey, there's gonna be almost all the guards are gonna be at this one place, Jotunheim. All the guards are gonna be there trying to stop us, which will leave no one in the palace or capital, whatever it's called, to protect the king or whatever." And he's like, "Go in, take back your government, free your people." And that's really all we get from that. And so then we get more Suicide Squad, but then we get a scene of them, of the freedom fighters, breaking into the building. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a thing. So I did forget about it a little bit in between those two plot points, but that's really it. Then a lot of stuff I wanted to talk about was about the deaths. So one thing I did like from the Man in the Waters team side of this, like I did like how Man in the Waters about to kill the remaining members of the Suicide Squad before he because Star Wars is about to kill the island, people on the island, and then eventually Bloodsport like, let's go save them. So Amanda was about to kill, not Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn, Ratcatcher 2, Polka Dot Man, King Shark, and Bloodsport, like all of them. And that's when someone on her team comes in with a golf club and smacks her on the side of the head. And I'm like, yes, that's actually pretty likely. We got a moment of one of our team members standing up for her, and these people, like these villains, becoming heroes, which I find hilarious due to the fact that at the beginning of the movie, you see the same people being like, "Okay, so I got $10 on this person. They're going to like someone's going to die. $10 on this person. Has Harley worked with this person?" Like they're basically doing a Deadpool, more of a joke, of who's going to die out of the Suicide Squad. Which it was nice to see that come full around, like how they literally knock her out just to save these people, so they can save other people. Amazing. In this movie, we also learn that Broken Man's powers come from a interdimensional virus because his mom tried to make him and his siblings superheroes, causing him to be. I think he's the only survivor because his other siblings died. But I also find it funny that the only way he could kill people is if he imagines it his mother. And so we do get a lot of scenes of basically him imagining his mother everywhere. But there's a scene in a strip club. I don't want to say strip club, but in a dance club, a nightclub, where he's dancing around in a weird like way, and it's his mother surrounding him. Yeah, but just cheers to the actors for playing so many different characters and making them all feel unique. The actress who plays his mom, she's amazing. And there was one sad moment with King Shark where he was forced to stay in the bus due to the fact that he's a walking shark. So of course he's going to cause alarm and suspicion and fear. So like it cut to his like everyone's else in the club having a good time. Cut to a scene of him on the bus being like crying and like damn, like I feel yeah, King Shark was amazing. Okay, so I was about to end this, but then I remember, there's one aspect of the movie I did not talk about. Starro. Starro is a bizarre choice as a villain. Was he the best option for this movie? No. Was he the worst option? No. I enjoyed him as a villain. I would have loved to. It would have been cool to see a big villain. Like, I actually enjoyed it. I thought his design looked amazing, and like, yeah, I thought it was a cool villain. He's not. What makes him the most what makes him terrifying is the fact that once his starfish latches onto your face, you die basically. You're basically dead. And it's kind of like hard to kill him because the only way he died, the only way he died is because Harley Quinn took the javelin from Javelin, like she's been carrying around that whole movie, stabs him in the eye, tears open basically the iris, like all that, and Rat catches some as 1,000 rats, and some go into that eye and tear the nerves. I'm gonna call it the nerves, the wire, like whatever you want to call it, cause his eyes are filled with blood, and basically he died. So yeah, there's that. He was I enjoyed him as a villain. Was he the best villain? No. Yeah, and seeing this movie is making me way more excited for the Suicide Squad game. Suicide Squad killed the Justice League, and like I do like how the game has King Shark, which is a character from this movie, Harley Quinn, Deadshot, and more Captain. Like we get Captain Boomerang back again, but it's not the same version. Yeah, this movie made me way more excited for that game. I can't wait for that game to come out. Yeah. So yeah, overall, I thought it was a good movie. If you don't want to see penis, weasel, or human, there's only two scenes you see that, and you'll just see John Cena in his underwear. So yeah. Oh yeah, before I go, like, oh the deaths, most of the deaths were good. Like they're bloody, gory, and all that. Yeah. So overall, the movie was so good. Yeah. I wish I had more stuff to say about the for the spoiler part. I just mostly wanted to talk about the deaths because the deaths were like I won't say affected me, but they not hit hard, but like they were the one things I kind of remember the most of the movie. So yeah. So let me think. So let me know what you think about the movie in the comments below. Uh, is there another movie you want me to see review when it comes out? If you liked it, please hit the like button and subscribe and hit the bell for more for notifications of videos release. Thank you and see you next time.